Good old Phantasy Star. Was there a little, like, girl you wait on the... Or no, that's 4 I'm thinking of. Here, we just want to start a game. So, I really can't explain just how far ahead of its time this game was when it came out. Like, I'll put it this way. This was released in the US before Dragon Warrior 1. In Japan, I think it had been out for like 7 months or something like that. Maybe a little bit more, but like... People at Sega saw freaking Dragon Quest 1 and they made this. Like, already we got this opening cutscene here. Just like super flashy as hell. We've got this nice little like first-person view of things. The overhead sprites aren't the greatest on the map, I'll admit. Also, interesting quirk of this, you talk to people by just like walking into their feet. Also, like, this is a game that people say, oh, if you're playing it these days, you should really get the, like, new fan translation. But, like, this is fine. There's, like, one thing in the game, which is a little awkward. I'll point that out shortly. Jerks down for people to even, like, ride the cool little moving sidewalk. This game does have a great Switch port, yes. But mostly. It has a couple of really good quality of life features. One thing it does is it ups the experience and cash drops off monsters, which normally I don't agree with, but you can turn it off, and, like, the start of this game is grindy as all hell. And yeah, it does have the FM sound mode, yeah, which... This ending might also, but this is the other thing with Phantasy Star is we got 3D, like, full-on 3D dungeons with nice smooth curves, and like it kind of blows my mind that that's like even possible. And apparently, the way that works, that it's not just a bunch of nice sprites. It's an actual functional, like, wireframe 3D engine for the bricks, and then just, you know, a nice colored background. Yeah, the start of this game, it gets a bit grindy. So we have, like, the clothes on our backs, this sword from our dead brother here, this guy's pot, which we're going to be very responsible with, and definitely not, like, give away immediately. This is the one thing that's, like, this is a slight mistranslation. Presumably it's supposed to say fast. And yeah, like, I feel like Well, I've had complicated feelings about Yuji Naka over the course of my life. I did think for the longest time that like he got way too much credit for stuff at Sega. When again, like Ryoko Kodama, like really is like the reason all their cool stuff is cool. But like when she died, he was like one of the first people to like just correct you, like, oh no, like she created Sonic the Hedgehog with me and like Phantasy Star and like all this other stuff. So like, hey, just wander our town here. We're in this whole like big walled city here. There are no encounters here except in the spooky woods. I can walk under the... Well, I can't walk under the cool walks, what I'm talking about. There's the cool little space part when I get out of this dump, but I can only get there if I have one of them there road passes. We got the southern section of town here. But yeah, I will say, like, Yuji Naka's actual programming work on this game is really impressive. Like, those 3D dungeons are one of those things that, like, Phantasy Star 4 wanted to do that again, just to bring it back, and nobody could figure out how. Like... And yeah, Medusa, just a thing, sure. But this is, again, this is an 8-bit game. This is an 8-bit game that predates Final Fantasy 1. And it looks like this. And it's just like, holy crap. And I haven't gotten into combat yet. Also, like, I love the fashion on these NPCs. Like, I want this outfit. Anyway, I have, whatever money I got out of that cave, which is, wrong button. I got 50 bucks on me, or 50 masita if you want the in-game term for it. If I want better than this little sword I started with, too bad. Urn sword is going to take another 25. It's a whole lot more for a tit sword, and a circ sword is ridiculous. I can also go buy some armor in the first area. Which I might do, just to make sure I can survive the journey ahead here. Before I get into the one flaw in this game. I can buy a loot shield. This was in the bad old days of like, let me equip this and then look at my stats and see how the numbers changed. That's a great. That's just, you know, that was the time. But at this point, it's like, okay, I got this like quest for vengeance, and I kind of need to, like, you know, get out of this backwater town and do something about it. I have the mild hint that I should maybe check out the spaceport, but I need a road pass. So where do I get a road pass? I love how every monster just has a treasure chest on them. That's not happening. And you're always asked, do you want to open it, because it might be trapped. Probably isn't. It's generally always worth to open it, but like, you know. You might have a spear pop out and hit you in the face or it explodes. Here's the second town of the game, just right across the way here. Some more people around here who can tell me some things with your multi-line messages. And again, like, I sure do. Just comparing this to, oh, cool. Oh, good for you. So I got the PCO. Nice information you're sharing. But yeah, I need to find some way to get a road pass. And also a cat, apparently, and a compass. Get this weird cat medicine for Odin. I mean, yeah. Okay, it's like, it's not a perfect localization, but it charms me. Just other planets have other people on them. I'd just like to talk to somebody. So yeah, that's what's going on in this town. There are of course more shops. And if I were to go out and, like, explore the world, I would quickly find that, like, I can't really get much of anywhere besides these two towns. There's more armor here. The only other shop in this town is this one here, which is the old second-hand shop, where you can buy the usual flashlight and teleporter, and what's that you got under the counter? It's very expensive. It's very mysterious. And so what you would do at this point in the game, normally, is you would just grind out that $200 plus whatever you need for equipment to help to grind out that $200, and then immediately be hit with another, like, paywall to progress through the game of another 100, and like the rest of the game, it's really not grindy at all, and it's very open and exploratory. But like, yeah, they just like front load like an hour's worth of grinding for cash. Yes. So what I did earlier is I just sat here for about an hour. I got the slightly better sword and some leather shield. I got up to level 5, and I got $600 worth of cash on me. I've also learned the first two spells, heal and buy. I love how straightforward spell names are in the original Phantasy Star. The healing spell is called heal. The run away from a fight spell is called buy. The stat boost spell is called help. The trap finding spell is called trap. It's nice and straightforward. I think there's some like weird graph glitches from this emulator. Oh well, can't help. Because now I can stroll on in to this town here. Walk up to this guy. Hey, what's that under the counter there? They get thrown out. But no, for real. What you got down there? And get thrown out. Okay. What the hell did I even buy? I now have a fake ID. Get these hints because I think a couple of these are like actually important. And when I say important, I mean like if nobody's told you about this thing, it's not there. So yeah, basically, like, the structure of my little quest at the moment is... Okay, there's some guy who's, like, super cool called Odin. I should probably, like, recruit him because it's easier to get, you know, your revenge on the king if you have, like, a big burly guy with you. That just makes sense. Unfortunately, if I were to go to Medusa's cave and find him, he is currently stoned, and needs his special anti-petrification medicine that his cool cat friend is holding for him. So I gotta find his cool cat friend. But for now... I guess I don't have to shop just yet. Let me see what my options are elsewhere. Yeah, there's not normal those little black dots in the mountains you can see here, but this emulator in particular is like rendering that weird sometimes. Also, this is a game where you can absolutely, there it is again, save anywhere in any of 5 slots. Welcome back. Which is just super generous. Also, this is of that vintage of games where you don't pick your actual target in combat. It's just like, you know, you'll attack one of them. It's just kind of random. So here we got this beach with this, like, these lapping waves, and if I get into a fight on the beach, then, like, we got this whole animated background, and also these fishmen are gonna, like, totally, like, kick my butt here. Which is why I saved it before I did this. But it's okay. Anyway. And, like, these early monsters aren't too impressive. They just kind of have the little, like, you know, flappy wings and such, but, like, some of the later ones have these, like, whole, like, screen-filling, like, really elaborate attacks, and it's, like, the competition was a, like, 16 by 16 spray on a black background that didn't move or flash or anything. Like, visually, this game knocked it out of the park so incredibly hard for what it is. Anyway. I got ID. It's cool. Yeah, like these, you know, people sprites aren't that great, but, like, otherwise, all of the graphics in this game are just, like, jaw-dropping for a game from, like, 1987. Like, on the also ran competition for the NES. Like, it's absurd. Cool. Yes, I would. No. No. And we'll just kick you out if you guys are wrong on those ones, but, yeah. Also, the first food shop has cola and burgers, which respectively restore 10 and 40 HP. There's a very 1-to-1 ratio of that. I don't know why there's these like weird cracks in the tile work on this emulator. Sometimes it's very strange. Anyway, though, I got my fake ID. I got my passport. I got this mysterious little manhole cover here. This is not special because I haven't heard about it. Let me. Yeah, I do have a passport. So I can just come up here to the spaceport and hop on one of these. And again, like other RPGs that existed at the time, you got Dragon Quest 1, you got Wizardry. You might have the first couple Ultima games if you have a PC, and then there's this, just like first exposure to the genre here. Again, because this came out in the US before like any RPG on the NES did. There sure is a cake shop in the cave. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And we got like the cleaned up version of DQ1 where they like gave you a sideways facing walking animation and the ability to like save it to a battery. I mean, there's some charm to that game, but like this game is like some of the like last gasp RPGs on the 16-bit systems. Maybe look as good as this does and have like the scope that this does. But yeah, the Switch port of this, as I was saying, like, it has the option to, like, make there be more money dropping from things, which is good in this case, because, like, I seriously had to grind for an hour before starting the stream just so I can get here and, like, you know, do anything. That's a shame. I hate that guy, so, you know, works out. Let's hit the shops. What do we got? Nice that I can buy a passport if I somehow lose mine. I should buy a flashlight, because I need that very soon. I should buy that, right? I was kind of mashing them buttons. Yes, there it is. Okay. So I believe one of these. Thick fur, diamond armor. Interesting. Interesting. Here we go. Will you pay 1 billion for it? No. Yes. Probably should have thought about that. Probably should have picked a travel companion who had, you know, thumbs. Anyway, I now have a cat, which is a big part of why this is like the greatest RPG ever. Yeah, a level 1 cat, but cat nonetheless. And what I could do at this point is wander out onto the harsh, inhospitable surface of this desert planet and get, like, eaten by those giant ant lions. I'll listen to these cool tunes. And yeah. I believe the monomate and dimate thing was a thing in Japan, and it was absolutely riffing off calorie mate. And that's what they're called in later games. But yeah, the other thing going on in here is, again, like, awesome music. We have this here locked door, which would take us to the governor's palace, but he needs bribing, and also I need to find some way to unlock that door. So for now, yep, did not lose it. And this is my emotional support cat. Yeah. Those nice, wonderful, like, beauty shots of the planets, and then, like, getting to see some of these areas you're going to be exploring in the not-too-distant future as you're taking off and landing is pretty cool. So, there are no alternate destinations for these particular ships. I can go between these two towns and these two planets, and that's it. There is a third planet, which you get to when you eventually have your own spaceship, which has its own landing zones. And I do have some spare cash. Can I buy anything worthwhile with it? Well, let me just double check that I didn't already do so. I think I will upgrade to the tit sword. Get your synchronator system now. Okay, now I have very real attack. Hooray. So now, let me make sure I'm topped off on HP. I love Meow's little, like, sideways running animation too. It's very... good bounding cat animation. So I'm not sure how manageable it's going to be. I think I would normally be inclined to... Oh, there's that happening. I'll live. The game with weird graphical glitches. That is not the game, that is the emulator. In theory, this Odin guy is in here somewhere. I don't remember if hugging the left wall is the correct answer, but that's what I'm doing. Just that buttery smooth turning is, Okay, now watch the animation on this one. At a time when, like, other developers didn't even have animations on monsters for, like, a whole hardware generation. This is gonna be rough. Fortunately, I got a nice new sword, so I can one-shot these. Meow is kind of useless at the moment. But ultimately, like, hands down, like, the best character in your party. So yeah, this first, like, dungeon here... Hey, here we go. I can also get the compass. Also, I just love, like, we just went to space to go to another planet and get this cat and bring him back here, and now we're, like, talking about killing Medusa to get a magical axe. Like, sure. Odin is the requisite big dumb fighter. Who never gets any spells, but does get two types of weapon. There are big honkin' axes that, you know, are single target damage. Hey, the compass. And then there's guns, and guns are interesting because they do flat damage. Like, I think the first one you find, it does 10 damage every time you fire it, but it does it to every target. Then there's, you know, one that does, like, 20 later on. And, like, we got a short int for monster HP, so that's, you know... It gotta be pretty good for most of the game, except for boss fights. And I believe if you, like, go for a low-level run, like, it's even better for the boss fights. Also, I love these, like, individual slashes everybody has that are just, like... Thin sword. Thick axe. Little cat claws. Ta-da! Got out of there in one piece. Now let me go stop by the only free healing place in the game. Otherwise, if you are hurt, you need to go to the hospital and pay like 1 Mesita per HP. But yeah, already got 3 out of the 4 characters. And, you know, skipping that hour of grinding, like, we're sitting pretty. But anyway, yeah, the Switch port of this, it has the option to, you know, just give you more money so you don't have to grind quite so much at the very start. It has the, just the extra screen space, because, you know, modern TVs and such are bigger, which it largely uses to give you, like, a nice little info panel on all of the spells and equipment and their stats, which is nice because, like, some of that is in the manual. Some of that is just like, well, I got it, and I equipped it, and I looked at my stats, and, okay, yeah, that is better than what I had before. Another great animation here. And the other thing it does is it auto-maps the dungeons, which, like, Medusa's Cave, they're pretty trivial, but, like, there's like a 15th floor dungeon later on, so, you know, that's nice to have. My one complaint, though, is, my one complaint, though, is that when it's auto-mapping dungeons, there are a couple parts in the game where there are, like, pit traps, which it will mark before you trigger them, which is kind of annoying. And also a couple parts in the game where there are secret doors, in the sense that, like, if you turn in the middle of this hallway, oh, there's a door on this wall that you wouldn't see while you're walking down it. Yeah, do I have to use this? It's a bit... It's fine. Did I forget to talk to the one person who explains what deals with the compass? That's possible. So it will, like, kind of, you know, cheat a bit with the caves, but it's still nice to have a nice auto map. And yeah, I don't know why the flying eyeball is called an owlbear. The blue version is called a wing eye. That makes sense. I wonder, like, did they flip a couple monster names accidentally? Yeah. Yeah, the Switch version, like, very much worth playing. When that, okay, that was the hint I definitely needed. So now, hopefully, that'll just be there. So yeah, but yeah, that Switch port, like, the day that came out, I got it and just jumped right into it, and I played this game in one session. And I mean, I have a copy of it. I have a copy that I got, like, after this whole ordeal. Because, like I said, I grew up with someone who is in the chat there, may or may not want to be called out on this, who had this game, and then had one of those situations of, like, well, before I'm going to get you another game, I'm going to have to, like, go sell the old one to the, like, store. And, I was almost done with this when that happened. And then it was, like, my white whale of a game for a while. And, like, the internet wasn't really a thing yet. So just over the course of several years of just, like, checking every game store and, like, in a, like, 5-state radius, eventually found some, like, unsold copies in a warehouse somewhere. And got myself my own Master System and, like, finally could play it. But yeah, the Switch port was like, it's been a few years, let me just pop down with this while having a rough day, like kind of like I'm having today, and just like, yeah, just ran straight through. It's like a 12-hour game, if you know what you're doing. It's just a fine length for an RPG, honestly. Like 10 to 20 hours for any game, really, is kind of what I'm looking for. Or like 6 to 20 hours. Somewhere in there. I could have sworn that he just, like... You can see this town once you have this compass. It's been a while. Almost kind of mixing up the order of things. It's also definitely one of those games that's like, hey, take notes. Like, anytime an NPC mentions something, like, it is going to be important at some point. But yeah, I think this game is like, when they localized this, they were trying to keep, you know, character names down to 4 characters, and they made some like random arbitrary changes. So in Japan, Meow is always Meow, but otherwise it's like Alyssa, Tyrone, and Lutz for the 4th character, who wind up being Alice, Odin, and Noah, which was really confusing when Phantasy Star 2 came out, because Phantasy Star 2, just by sheer coincidence, has a dungeon called Noah. Where I got that? And it's like, is this named after the guy from the first game? And no, not at all. He's actually in this game too, because, like, you know, wizards and living for 1,000 years and whatnot. But his name is Lutz now. And it's like, okay, that's confusing. Did he give his name to that dungeon and have to change it? What am I forgetting to do here? One moment. I don't need this Map Bazillion anymore. So yeah, that was a whole thing. That was very confusing. And then like the spells are all called weird stuff like Foy and Gra and Su. And the healing items are like Monomate and Dimate. And then they truncate to the other planets to Palm, Moda, and Bizo. Which is odd when the first game didn't have the need to do that. Just trying to remind myself of some things here. It also, like, Phantasy Star 2 doesn't look this good. It was on the Genesis, but it doesn't look this good. Like, the backgrounds are all on this, like, abstract grid when you're in a fight, and the monsters are tiny and not as animated. Well, with some exceptions. And wow, there are some, like, mentally scarring exceptions, but, like, mostly just kind of, like, wiggle at you. Oh wait, did I just not go far enough south? That could totally be it. That'd be embarrassing if so. Yeah, okay. Yeah, oh, it's this little forest. Right, okay. So this town is visible from the compass. We have a different architectural style here, too. And style of clothing and music. Like, you didn't have to go this hard, Phantasy Star. You really didn't. So, right. Our current quest, essentially... Well, two. Okay, we got Noah there, who I was talking about. Who I need to go track down. Yes. Oh, okay. That's the whole third thing to deal with. I do. Oh, okay. Hypothetically, if I didn't already know... Laconia, good. Got it. So here's the hospital I'm not going to be staying at. I'll take that gun. This one kind of sucks, but like... it's worth showing off how it goes. Oh. Things are slightly more real down here, right? So this one does 5 damage, but that does to everything. And here again, like, some flashy animations on some of these attacks. Oh no. Yeah. Maybe. I should just run from the incredibly tough fight that I'm not at all prepared for. What do we do when our friends die, everyone? I mean... No, the rest of us are not dead. I feel like you could have guessed who needed that. I do love that little chant, yeah. Okay, so first things first is this place where I got some money at the start. Also has the Duggan key. So now, if I should happen to find any sort of locked door in a dungeon, I can use this key and unlock it. And it just so happens that I have seen such a door. So back to the spaceport. See this cool takeoff and landing sequence again. Me? like the guys with their whole little hand carts full of boxes and stuff on the runway. Past these here sleeping guards. No. Okay. So you can't talk to the governor without a bribe. And apparently he likes cake, and apparently cake is in a cave somewhere. So that's one of our major quests at the moment. The other one... is finding what's up with this Noah guy. Also, if I step in one of those, it's like an instant attack. Okay, here's another like monster with amazing animations. At a time when, again, other RPGs didn't even have backgrounds in fights or moving anything. Up nice. Hi. So yeah, this is one of the natives of this planet. They're these little like blue rodent guys in robes, and you can fight them, or you can just like say hey. Get actually very important hints. And in Phantasy Star 2, you don't find them, because in Phantasy Star 2, you've, like, mostly terraformed this planet, and I don't know where they are, but, like, they're presumably, like, in some arid corner of it somewhere you never wind up visiting. It's such a good attack. And then in Phantasy Star 4, the last game in the trilogy, don't worry about how the numbers work, one of them joins your party properly for a while, and that's just cool. So maybe thinking, hey, this is a high encounter rate this game has. Also, look at that sand in the foreground. It's like covered with names half the time. Like, they really like filled out that screen. But yeah, you'll notice like there aren't really a lot of boss fights in this game. It's usually just like the challenge is getting into this cave, putting all the stuff in it, and getting out again alive. Not so much like, here's the big epic fight. There are a few boss fights, but like they're kind of the exception. Did I forget the flashlight again? Sure did. Bigger than before. Okay. I mean, they're not always useful hints. So there's a few monsters you can talk to. There's a couple others that if you have the telepathy spell, you can communicate with. I want to say, like, dragons, maybe? Certain spiders for some reason. And manticores? Yeah, gotta wander all the way back to town now and buy a flashlight. Or I can just, you know, call things for the night at some point. I'm not going to play through all of Phantasy Star in one sitting this late. But it is, like, a game that is just, like, breathtakingly ahead of its time, and I think it holds up pretty well today. Like, again, there is that bit of grinding at the start that I skipped past, and then you never really have to do that again. There are some very, very expensive things in shops, but, like, the intent is not that as soon as you see something, you save the money and get it. It's like, okay, let me work on some other, like, goals in the area, and I'll be back. And, like, there's a lot of finding good equipment in dungeons. You have to actually shop for it. The dungeons do get a little intense later on, and you eventually want to, like, you know, map them out on graph paper, or cheat and look at somebody else's map, or play the Switch version where you have a little, like, automapper on the side. But, like, it's a nice, briskly paced, gorgeous game. I don't really recall any, like, wow, that is some BS moments. Unless you count the fact that, like, you know, to see the governor of this town, I have to go into a cave somewhere and, like, fight through a couple floors of monsters to just find this bakery. Which is one of those things where, like, the designers knew exactly how ridiculous and absurd that was, and just, you know, yeah, that's the joke. It's a bad place for your bakery. There's some concept sketches though, it's pretty good. But yeah, some other interesting stuff in this game is there are, like, multiple vehicles you get to traverse the world with. There's, you know, the one for crossing water. There's the one for, like, getting across these nasty sandworms here, antlions here in the desert. There's the one for, like, digging tunnels on the ice planet. There's your own personal spaceship. It's like there's a lot going on. Also, with how expensive the hospital is, it actually is worth it for a surprising chunk of the game. Anytime you're really hurt, just, like, fly on back to Palma and talk to your friend Sue there. Remember to buy a flashlight before you leave. Good to have a few of them on you. You do always need to light up caves with them. Ugh. I am a bit tired. I was planning to at least get Noah, but, like, it's late. But anyway, yeah, that was, well, something I'm calling it here, which I might as well. Well, let me at least, like, buy a flashlight, so if I do pick it back up, I'm going to have that handy. not here. Not here. It's the secondhand store where you get your single-use flashlights and your teleporting items. Save it just on principle's sake. But yeah, I think I might be calling it here, just because I am getting tired and forgetting what I'm saying half the time. But yeah, that is a taste of like the better games for the Sega Master System. A couple of them are real good.